has been painted with one brush: loud accents, mob stories, and movie scenes. But that's not the truth. Good morning, everybody. I'm Spado, the accidental gangster. Today, I'm going to tell you what Italians have gone through in this country. Other people think they had it bad, but wait until you hear what I have to say. Folks, I am 100% Italian. My grandparents came from Calabria. I am very proud to be Italian. Thank you, my friend Nancy, for coming here and joining me. All right, and hopefully soon we get others that join us here. Okay? This month is National Italian Heritage Month, and people don't even recognize it. You know, it's really terrible. Folks, you know, we built bridges, neighborhoods, we opened bakery, barbershop, tailor shop. We created art, music, inventions, and legacies. We're not a stereotype. We're a community with depth, history, and pride. And the more we tell our story, the real story, the louder our truth becomes. Thank you, Agent Norris. Thank you, Cooper. Thank you. You don't care, Cooper? Too bad. Then leave. All right? Let me tell you, the largest wave of Italian immigration to the United States occurred between 1880 and 1924. It's around when my grandfather came here, when over 4 million Italians arrived, driven primarily by poverty, political instability, and natural disasters in southern Italy. While some Italians arrived earlier, including a few who came in the 17th century, this massive surge is considered the main period of Italian immigration. Massive influx between 1880 and 1924. More than 4 million Italians came here, with a peak between 1900 and 1910, with over 2 million arrived. The immigrants were largely from southern Italy and Sicily, fleeing extremely poverty, high taxes, crop disease, and a lack of opportunity following the country's unification in 1861. The flow of immigration decreased significantly after 1924 due to restrictive U.S. immigration laws like the Emergency Quota Act of 1921 and the Immigration Act of 1924, which limited the number of immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe. Earlier arrivals, there were smaller groups of Italian immigrants before that. Okay? Yes, the current month of October is Italian Heritage Month. In the United States, a celebration of contributions from Italian Americans. While this is a month-long observance, not a federal holiday, it coincides with Columbus Day, which is a public holiday on the second Monday of October. Italian American has celebrated through October in the United States to honor the achievement of the United States. Look around you, folks, and see the great things that the Italians have achieved and come together and done. Okay? I'm proud of it all. Good morning, Jeremy. Thank you, T-Wag. All right? What was I going to tell you? I had a part here. Folks, hang on one moment. I got the most important part of it. It's on my computer. Let me bring it, okay? You know, I bet you folks did not know Italians were not considered white people. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know it, okay? You won't know, you have no idea of how things Okay, here we go. All right, folks. I'm starting to learn to use my computer a little bit more. I need a new one, takes a long time. Italians became considered white in the United States through a gradual process in the 20th century, moving from being treated as a non-white group to being accepted as part of the white majority. This was influenced by economic mobility, assimilation into American culture, World War II's impact of American identity, and the Civil Rights era, which increasingly positioned Italians within the white category against black Americans. Factors like media representation, patriotic contribution, and the popularization of Italian American celebrities and cultural touchstones. Late in the 19th and early 20th century, Italian immigrants were considered new immigrants and faced significant discrimination. You have no idea how we were discriminated. Often ranked below the established white population of Northern European descent. They were not consistently considered fully white and were subject to racial prejudice. And people want to call me racial? Give me a break, okay? World War II, the participation in the war effort of the American side helped reframe them as loyal citizens, contrasting with old stereotypes of forgiveness. Civil rights era, as racial tensions focused on the black and white dynamic, Italian Americans were increasingly folded into the white majority as a way to reinforce the existing racial hierarchy. Folks, I want to tell you a story. By the way, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, like, all that helps me. All right? Don't be afraid to hit that thanks button. Okay? And for those who want to send me money through my PayPal, that's right in my link. I'm sorry, but I had to say that there. Please subscribe. You know, folks, when I was selling Prudential Insurance Company for insurance for the Prudential, back in late 1969, I was out canvassing, cold canvassing, knocking on doors. When I knocked on this one door, and this old black man opened the door. And the moment he saw me, I didn't even tell him my name. He looked at me and he said, "You're Joe Spado's son." I was flabbergasted. I said, "How do you know that?" He said, "You look like him." He said, "Son, come in. I'm too old. I don't need insurance." He made me coffee. We sat down. Guy had a nice house, very clean, kept. All right? And he says, son, let me tell you something. He says, I remember how bad you Italians had it here. I'm from Rome, New York. It was a small town of 40,000 people. The Italians lived in East Rome. There was a bridge, the Mohawk River Bridge on Dominic Street. We were not allowed to cross that bridge to go into West Rome. Yeah, we had it bad. People called us guineas, wops, and all sorts of things. I could tell you one thing, never call my father a guinea or a wop. My father, one punch, and he knocked him right out. All right? Trying to read some of the comments here. All right, somebody want to call me a fascist. All right, call me what you want. But you know what? I'm proud to be Italian. You don't like it? It's too bad. You know what happened in 1891 in New Orleans? You don't know, do you? Everything. Respect. What do you know about respect, everything? I was brought up with it. I understand it, okay? Folks, do me a favor, okay? Put in the comments, are you Italian or not? Write me a comment, okay? Tell me about it. Thank you, Cooper. We got a lot of respectful people here. And for all you respectful people, I want you to know I love you all, okay? You get all my respect. What happened? There was a flash there, huh? "1891 New Orleans lynchings were the murders of 11 Italian Americans, immigrants in New Orleans, by a mob for their alleged role in the murder of a police chief, David Hennessy. After some of them had been acquitted at trial. When they were acquitted at trial, they were still in jail. And the city were outraged. And they busted into the jail and hung 11 Italians. Trump is actually Elvis Presley. You know what? You wouldn't believe this, but I've been listening to Elvis on my Sirius XM, FM, Sirius radio in my car, okay? It was the largest single mass lynching in American history. Most of the lynching victims accused in the murder have been rounded up and charged only because they were Italian. So folks, we've gone through a lot in this country. But I love this country. Does it sound kind of familiar of why the Italians came over? But you know, we came over legally. We didn't run over the border and come in here illegally. Maybe a few of us got in, okay, a little bit illegal, but it wasn't many. Yes, folks, you know, I was in the mafia. Yeah. But you know, the mafia, we took care of our own. We did great things as Italians. No, I'm Calabrian, Tony C. From Calabria. Okay? I'll be doing a story on that. I'm going to tell you who my grandfather was, but I'm going to save that for another time. You'll be surprised. Folks, leave me a comment if you like the history lesson that I give you. All right? Tony, I just said that earlier, Tony. Listen to the replay because all Italians from southern Italy, okay, we were considered black, okay? Thank you, Decas, for loving the history, okay? Folks, please, once again, I'm going to ask you, subscribe, hit those buttons down there. Don't be shy. It don't cost you a penny to do that there, okay? I would appreciate it. Folks, in my book, The Accidental Gangster, From Insurance Salesman to Hollywood Fixer, all right? I'm going to be talking more about what I did as a Hollywood fixer, who I knew, how I got to know them, okay? And folks, by the way, okay, if you haven't watched my shorts, please do. Go to my short, see some amazing things that my son has taken from real life and he transferred it into AI and how he's doing it. All right? Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. Read his book too. It's awesome. Thank you, Nancy Grace, my good friend. All right? Movie Goodfellas is an awesome movie. It was written by my dear friend, Nick Pileggi. All right? Nick Pileggi, in my opinion, is the greatest historian on the Italian mafia. He knows his facts and so much. And the reason he does, he grew up with them back in New York, all right? He was a reporter for the newspaper, I think it was the Post. I'm not sure, don't hold me to that, okay? And he attended all those court trials that you heard about, those famous ones, the Key Offer Commission, and all those things that you saw there. Mr. Wonderful, great to see you. Tony, I grew up in a small town in upstate New York called Rome, New York, okay? It was a great little city at the time. I had a great upbringing. I got no qualms about my upbringing. I just didn't like the weather, and I had to get out of there, and I did when I was 18 years old. It's all in my book. Please read it. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and if you want an autographed copy, you can get it at my website, which is in my profile. And seeing that you talked about Goodfellas, I want to read you this here. Nick Pileggi, who wrote Goodfellas, Casino, all right, wrote a blurb for the back of my book. I know Nick a long time. For nearly 40 years, Orlando, Ori Spado, was a friend and associate of John Sonny Franchese, underboss of the Colombo organized crime family. His relationship with Sonny brought him to the attention of the FBI and eventually led to his being indicted with Sonny on federal RICO charges and imprisoned. In The Accidental Gangster, Ori provides the detail of his time in the life and his long battle with the FBI, whose overwhelming resources made it a fight that was impossible to win. Nick Pileggi, author and screenwriter, Casino, Goodfellas. Okay? Most books are better than the movies. Okay, somebody just at that there. The reason being, you got to realize for a scriptwriter, it's very hard to take a story from a book and create a script. I mean, here it is. I got a 400-page book, okay? And you got to take that there, extract from it, and make it 90 to 120 pages. Because every page, okay, every page on a script is 1 minute of screen time. So obviously, 400 pages is going to be 400 minutes. So they can't do it. Yeah, the Italians were arrested again in sports betting. I read that there. I'm not paying much attention. Okay, they're going to be given a slap on the wrist. The Italians won't, the others will. Okay? The Italians end up doing prison. Okay? People don't understand. And I don't want to get into that because there would be hatred. All right? Yes, Tony, I did time. I did 30 months in MDC Brooklyn, right where Diddy is at. I know that prison inside and out, okay? And then I did my remaining 30 months at Lompoc here in Northern California. I did my time. I stood up like a man. I did what was right because I always do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I tell you folks this every day. All right? You're correct, Tony. I never ratted on nobody. Not in my entire life. And you know who I learned that from? My father. Let me tell you the story. We had a garden. That particular year, my father told me, have the garden spaded by the time I come home from work. We had a big garden. What I did was I stole 50 cents. And I paid another kid that I went to school with, big, strong kid, Lauren Trombley. I paid him 50 cents to spade the garden. He did a great job. My father came home from work. We're in the backyard. My younger sister was there. My father said, oh, you did a great job. And my sister said, he didn't do it. He hired Lauren Trombley to do it. You know what my father did? My father gave her a spanking. Gave her the spanking and says, you never snitch on anybody. That's where I learned that from. And that's what I live my life on loyalty, honor, and respect. That's why I'm still alive. With the people that I know in my life, you'll be amazed. Learn about them in my book, okay? But guess what my father did after he spanked my sister? He told me, he says, you got to spade the garden again. He made me redo it, even though it was done. Yeah, Troy, my sister is still alive. She's not too well, unfortunately. You know, you get old. Some people get certain illnesses that are not good, okay? She's lucky for every day that she has on earth left. It's a terrible situation, and I prefer not to get into it, okay? So, Oh, James Brown, the football player, I loved him. Okay? He was great. Folks, this is unusual. Nobody hit that thanks button. I guess you don't like what I'm telling you today. Huh? The music was better. The movies were better. Folks, the movies are horrible today. Huh? I'm going to be 81, Tony. Hunting. I went hunting back when I lived in upstate New York. Deer hunting, duck hunting. Yes, I did that all the time. Thank you, Anthony Guerrero. Appreciate it. We got great people in here today. I look great, thank you. I feel great, folks. I woke up at 5:30 this morning. All right, did a little bit of walking. Okay, I haven't even had breakfast yet. Okay, I'm gonna have breakfast after I have this, and it's lunchtime. All right. Michael Savage. I don't even know who Michael Savage is. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you, Minnie. I appreciate that. Tony, there's a thanks button down there. All right. A lot of people can't find the thanks button. I don't know why. But if you want to send me something, okay, my PayPal is theaccidentalgangster@gmail.com. Okay, that's my Gmail. That's my PayPal account, I think. But it's right there in my profile. You can send it that way. Okay? Whatever you folks can do. I know we're in tough time. The economy is not as great as everybody's saying, particularly here in California. Okay? It's really horrible. All right? Mr. Wonderful, good to see you. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful's here, Kenneth. All right. The subject, Kenneth, you're going to have to hit the replay. I can't go through the whole thing, okay? That's what Italians had to go through when Italians were not considered white, okay? Most people don't know that, okay? But I told you there, you're going to have to hit the replay. Please do, okay, folks? Folks, that's about it with that story, all right? I'm going to have my breakfast. I want to thank you all for coming. If you have not subscribed, please do. And leave me a comment. Give me your thoughts of what you think, okay? And any stories, any subject that you think you would like me to talk about. I would appreciate that, folks, because I'm here for you. I've been on this earth for almost 81 years. I'm about a month and a half away from 81, okay? And I got a lot of wisdom, a lot of history, and a lot of story that I'm going to be sharing with you. So please subscribe, put your notifications on, all those things, all right? And, all right. I appreciate you all. Tony, I thank you for trying. Somewhere, Tony, is a thanks button. For some reason, not everybody has it. I don't know the reason. We try researching it. I can't figure it out. I'm not a technology guy. I'm sorry. So everybody have a great day. Remember, be kind and do something nice for other people today. And I guarantee you, it will come back to you tenfold. All my love and respect, as usual, to all of you. Have a great day, folks.